Hi Gemini, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we are just doing a bit of a check-in as well as looking at career, seeing if there's anything important happening for you at the moment. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I do really appreciate that. Of course, please leave a comment. Let me know, if the readings resonate for you. If not, it is a collective reading. I thank you for watching anyway. But I am using, this week I have here the Yin Yang Oracle. I do also have the Kipper deck this week using the Green Glyphs Lenormand to clarify and delve this week, as well as, finishing off this week with a message from the Cosmic Messages Oracle as well. Okay, so Gemini, I am going to start with the Kipper deck and just see if there's anything important needing your attention this week. Anything important needing Gemini's attention this week, please? What's going on for Gemini this week? Okay, so we do have the despair coming through here with the adjudication. So judge and jury with that adjudication card, it talks about balancing things out, coming to a final resolution, but it's obviously involving something that, has been despairing you, this despairing energy. It does feel like it's finally coming to an end, finally, being weighed and balanced somewhat in your favor here, Gemini. I will just clarify and see if we can work out what exactly that is with that despair energy for you. Clarify the despair energy for Gemini. Okay. Matters of the heart. We have the heart and the scythe coming through straight away there. So we do sort of feel as though this is, something to do with your heart space, love. Regardless of whether that's romantic love or platonic love. With the scythe, it does show us that this is kind of breakup kind of energy. You've been despairing over some sort of loss with your love life, with, someone that you have loved in some kind of way. I don't feel as though it's romantic love for everyone here, but definitely for some of you, this is a breakup kind of energy, something that you have been despairing over. You may feel as though it was very sort of sudden, very unexpected. You may not have been prepared for that, and it sort of left you in a bit of energy there. But we do, the adjudication card is very similar to the justice energy in the tarot. So adjudication, it does really, for some of you, there may be some sort of legal things being finalized with, the end of a connection, those sorts of things. There may be an actual legal side of things here for some of you as well, like the divorce papers finally being finalized, having to sort of sign off on all the paperwork, that sort of thing. Justice being served in some kind of way. It leads you to success here, Gemini. We have the key with that adjudication energy. So it really does lead you to a lot of new opportunities. It's like you're finally sort of moving out of this despairing energy, this sad grief energy connected to that break. It's kind of like it's finally over and done with for you here, Gemini, and you can finally start to, open up to new opportunities and, see what other doors open for you from this ending finally. It does feel like a big finalization energy here for you. Okay, so whatever that is regarding, I'm sure it's all heading in the right direction with that key that leads you straight to success with that key energy. Okay, but looking at your work and your career, I am trying to just do really short readings this week, Gemini. Okay, so moving straight along to that, I am using the Yin Yang Oracle. So this is, not the oracle I normally would use for work and career. So it's going to be interesting to see how those messages come through this week using this deck. But we're wanting to look at work, career, and financial issues for Gemini with, with this deck today. Okay, work, career, and finances for Gemini. Anything that needs Gemini's attention with work, career, and finances, please. Very interesting energy here. Firstly, we have the memories, the nostalgia card coming through. But the interesting thing is it's coming straight through with this toxicity, bound patterns energy. Okay, so there's this memory of being bound to a specific pattern within a career, some sort of toxic work environment. I kind of feel like you're coming to full circle a little bit here and remembering, patterns that the way that things have led to toxic work environments for you in the past. So it's kind of that energy of you had that horrible boss, and if only I had paid attention to those signs, and there's something about that coming through this memory of the patterns that led up to this toxicity coming through in the work stuff. So you may be noticing that starting to occur in your current work sort of thing. So you're now, looking back at the patterns and working out, what do I need to change about that pattern in order to stop it from coming to that same result where it's kind of left me feeling very bound to that energy and like, affected by the toxicity in the work environment. We do also have the remember, the awakening. So it's kind of like don't forget that you've been through this before. You've been there, done that. You know how to deal with this in a much more positive way for yourself this time around. So if you are seeing patterns like that, in your current situation that are kind of reminding you of something from your past, within the work stuff here, that know that energy, if it's following that same pattern, it's trying to hold you down a little bit here. Trying to, I do feel for some of you, it's feeling like it may be specifically connected to a person or like a social treatment kind of thing, that there might be some sort of workplace bullying sort of thing going on, and you're kind of awakening to that and seeing that for what it is, and because you're able to remember that pattern that occurred in the past here. Why is this coming through for Gemini? Work, career and finances for our Gemini. For some of you, it's coming through because you're fighting the pattern, fighting being bound. Once again, it's kind of like you're getting out while the going's good. For some of you here. So for some of you, I do feel as though you're distancing yourself from these situations, that you're seeing them as patterns, and you kind of going, that behavior only leads to this or that. I'm going to step away from that, and I don't want anything to do with that. So we do have the feminine coming through with the rider and the ship, which is where we're seeing that that distancing yourself from this situation, and sort of getting on that horse and riding off into the sunset, getting on to just riding down to that ship, setting sail for calmer waters, whether that be for some of you it may even be to the point of choosing a new choosing to really start looking for a new job, because you're just seeing this pattern and you know where it's leading you here. What's coming from this energy? Is this something Gemini's just avoiding getting dragged into, or is this spurring Gemini into a brand new job? What clarify that energy, please. You're definitely thinking about it. A lot of you, your thoughts are going like a million different directions here. We have the clouds here. So don't be, just be careful of overthinking things a little bit here as well. Because your thoughts and overthinking certain things may, lead you to a little bit more of clouded judgment, confusion with the situation. I feel as though your intuition, trusting your emotions on the situation with that feminine there. Advice for Gemini. Make sure you're protecting yourself for your longevity. Okay, we have the lily and the bear. So the bear is all about standing strong and tall and firm in your own power, standing up for yourself a little bit here. The lily really is all about long-term stuff. Where do you want to be in 20 years, 30 years from now? Make sure you're standing up for your longevity, your long-term goals, rather than focusing on, the current toxicity, or, I do feel like avoiding avoiding is going to be, something a lot of you are going to be like, that's it, I'm getting out of this. I'm distancing myself from that situation before that pattern has a chance to, catch me like it has maybe in the past. I am just keep getting this, it may just be some like workplace gossiping. It may be, for some of you, it may be a little bit more severe than that, to the workplace bullying kind of thing. But I do feel as though there is just this social kind of, I'm getting a bit of a mean girls kind of energy coming from that toxicity. So it may just be the way that people are behaving around you, and you kind of know that pattern, that it just exacerbates, or whatever you've seen that pattern do in your own past, because we are looking back at your own memories of what's happened in the past when you've seen these same sort of symptoms of the greater problem, and watching the pattern, you know the pattern, you've been there, you've done that, you understand that, so making sure that you're not letting that escape your notice kind of thing here, but really focusing on what you need long term, protecting your own self long term, is your advice there, to focus about on the long term. So if this is a job that you truly want for the long term, what do you need to do to stand up for yourself and create strong boundaries between yourself and these toxic patterns that are happening around you? And where is that taking you here, Gemini? Okay, so really thinking about that, or long term, is it better for you to escape the situation and literally distance yourself by looking into another job, those sorts of things. It feels like you've got a lot to think about when it comes to this particular situation, but like I said, trusting your own self here, trusting the pattern. You've seen this pattern before, so really looking back into when you've seen these symptoms in the past, and seeing how that pattern goes, and where you need to place yourself in regard to that pattern, whether you need to escape that entirely, or whether you can just avoid that until it passes over, kind of energy. It's not feeling like it's, like I said, for majority of you, it's nothing huge and dramatic. It probably is something that you can just sort of stand tall and firm and hold out until it passes you over. I don't feel as though for a lot of you it's not going to affect you personally long term, as long as you are very focused on your long term, what's going to hold your boundaries firm long term, so that 10 years from now, that's not still affecting you. Those patterns are no longer affecting you because you sidestepped them. Oh, okay. Okay. Gemini. Final message for our Geminis, please. What does Gemini need to know right now? What does Gemini need to know this week, please? Faith in yourself, Gemini. Be authentic. Anything else is just exhausting. So, especially with this workplace stuff, do not just go along with things. Be authentic to yourself. Stand very tall and firm in who you are and what you believe and what you stand for. Okay, be authentic. Anything else is just exhausting and gets you dragged into this toxicity, into this, bound up, wrapped up in it. So be authentic and be true to yourself, and be true to your long-term desires when it comes to your career, and yourself in general here. Be authentic and just be you. No one else is as good as being you as you are. Okay, so that's what we have for you this week. Like I said, pretty short this week, but keeping it short and sweet sometimes is authentic. Okay, but you're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Like, subscribe, I do appreciate that, and hopefully I will see you all again soon.